Wow, Plus Sports and PlusTvAfrica. What a day. My name is Wally Scott. Welcome on the show. I'm not a fan of Mondays generally. And in this particular Monday, I had to switch off my phone.
I can imagine.
Because, yeah, you can imagine.
As a Man U fan, I can imagine your Monday is not very
We'll talk about that later on the show, okay? Now, the Super Falcons endured a scare after losing 1-0 to their fierce rivals Ghana yesterday, but qualified for the next round of the 2022 African Women's Cup of Nations qualifiers. Ghana claimed the slim victory at the Accra Sports Stadium. The Falcons had earlier won the first leg of the AWCON qualifiers 2-0 at the Mobolaji Johnson Stadium, Lagos on Thursday. Now, Seun Ajidagba got Ghana's solitary goal midway into the second half, as the Falcons were expecting adherence to fair play principle. Captain Asatu then missed an opportunity to draw Nigeria level. Seun Ajidagba, good morning.
Good morning, Wally Scott. It's a pleasure joining you.
You were saying last week that it would have been comfortable for the girls to seal a win in Ghana to show our supremacy over the Black Queens. That didn't happen. The Black Queens of Ghana beat us in Accra, 1-0.
My position has always been my position. And my position is simple. From Seun Ajidagba to Randy Wardrobe, both of them are scams. I have not seen any evidence of coaching on this team that both of them have handled. You can imagine we're going to be knocked out of the African Women's Cup of Nations. The tournament is set in Morocco. And that means we might not have qualified for the World Cup. It would have been a disaster. How do you contrive to lose against the Black Queens of Ghana? Remember what I told you about what the coach said when they lost the first leg? That they were more intelligent than the Super Falcons. All we had was power. And this not for the red card that Captain Portia-Blackie suffered. I don't think this would have been the story we'll be talking about this morning. If it's not broken, we don't fix it. I would have lost if they had left a Florida Tobago me on that job. He saw some evidence of good football. You know the superstars they had. The Tony Payne, the Uche Nakanu, the Osinacho Hale, the Onome Ebi, the Ataku Sola, the Ashada Dibade. He could not score. And then you say you have a coach who was well done. And I was telling people, I said, to show you that these coaches are not good enough, look at a certain Thomas Benedict. You are the most successful team in Nigeria and one of the most successful teams in Africa. And when he wanted to get another job, he went to under 17 of India. Finally, one of the top rated TV stations in Nigeria is PlusTvAfrica. So you not leave PlusTvAfrica and go to a station in Sokoto. So is that an upward trajectory or retrogression? Wale, you never get to.
Okay, quickly before I go to the next story, Mukael, Seun has consistently said this. Nigeria, we have this attitude: if it's not broke, we don't fix it. You know, we wait till it's broke first. No, we don't maintain it. And he says the coaching crew of the Falcons, as far as it's concerned, is nothing to write home about. He says the ladies didn't have any business losing that match in Accra, and I agree with that too. But if we cannot beat the Black Queens home and away now in the qualifiers, when push comes to shove, what happens?
If it's not broke, we don't fix it
in Nigeria.
But even when it is broke, we fix it with duct tape.
Yes, eventually.
Eventually.
When we eventually fix it.
Yes, we fix it with duct tape. First of all, looking on the balance of both matches, you know, I always say that I'm not mad when a team wins at home because their pride is on the line, even when they're going up against a much stronger team. Now, at the same time, their manager said the last time that they were smarter, more tactically prepared.
Yes, and our girls only had grits.
Yes, but in this instance, they were smarter in the sense that they did not adhere to fair play norms. It's not a rule, but it's just a norm.
Yeah.
And they did not care about that because they wanted to win clearly more than we did. So we expected something that they weren't willing to give.
I have, in the course of my career, I have consistently interviewed this man. I have spoken to him so many times, I can hear his voice in my head right now. Now, there's a lawsuit against Nigeria's sports minister, Sunday Dari, and the federal government of Nigeria for defamation of the character of the world boxing champion, renowned, he acclaims to be the world boxing champion, Bashiru Bash Ali, OON. Gentlemen of the press, this is to inform all of us that the global public, through gracious and patriotic services of disseminating information, that the world boxing champion Bashiru Ali has finally decided to sue Nigeria's Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Seun Ajidagba, and the federal government of Nigeria because, again, he sees the merits and benefits of the country. Okay, now, let me explain this to everybody out there first. Bash Ali wants to have a fight, and he wants to be the oldest boxer to fight for a belt and win. He's been suspect in the past few years. We're saying that the guys that he brings to fight against are unknown people. For all we care, they might not even be boxers at all. He brings them, he beats them silly, and he shouts, Bash Ali, you are very great. You know, what's the hell of that? Now, the guy says he's been promised money. The federal government has promised him money. The Ministry of Sports. Some are saying the guy needs help, mentally now, that is. But the guy is saying, I'm going to sue you guys to court for making promises, making me look like I don't know what I'm doing out there to the world. My fighter, my opponent is already ready to fight me, and you guys are wasting my time. And I'm asking myself, he wants to sue the federal government for what now? For not giving you money. Raise the money and go and fight the person yourself. Must the government do it for you? Seun Ajidagba, the world's greatest, Bash Ali. Well, some very, very grievous allegations there. He says he got some money through to the Minister of Sports and that he wants his money back with interest. These are very serious allegations. But Seun, we're used to Bash coming out to bring drama like this once in a while, Shouldn't we be used to it by now?
In all honesty, Wale, I am struggling to put my thoughts together. For me, that's a damning statement. The only person he did not try it with was Govt, who was the former sports minister then. He did it with Solomon Dalong, Vice Solomon Dalong. He did it now with Sunday Diary. And for him to say he collected money from me, I'm sure you understand what we call slander and by extension libel and the implications that comes with it. He said the president asked the sports minister to set up a committee that he has been collecting money from him, so the money was not disclosed. But Sunday Daddy, on his own part, kept cited that I'm a public office holder, and if somebody is launching this stinging attack against me, I need to put out a statement. And he has charged him to court, he has sued him. Let's wait to see how he finds out. Because for me, while much as we want to say Bash Ali a joke, we should go out and toss for sponsorship from the corporate bodies and maybe individuals and leave the government out of this. There are some periods where you just want to achieve something by yourself and you just leave out the government. And when you become a superstar, they will flourish around you. You start, dancing around you that you have made them proud. We've seen it happen before. But for him to be saying he collected money from me, while in all honesty, it's a damning statement, and I want us to get to the root of this matter so that we can become ruthless.
Now, Mukail, Bash Ali. Too many things, too many drama around him. We've spoken about the boxers he fights, as who are they, what's their pedigree, he wants to be the oldest. Now he says the federal government, with the permission of the president, have approved a Bash Ali committee for him, and he claims that the committee has been taking money off him. Now I hope Bash Ali understands that this is very serious. He's actually alleging that a serving minister in this country took money off him. If he can't prove that in court, he could go to jail for this.
Well,
I hope he has proof of this.
Well, slander is a civil suit. So even if they bring a case against him for defamation of character, it will unlikely result in him going to prison. More likely, he will have to pay a hefty financial cost. At the same time, I mean, we all live in Nigeria.
If Bash Ali has so much money to bribe, why not arrange the fight by yourself? This is a case of sense of entitlement. As in, it feels the government must. How many times has the UK government paid for Anthony Joshua's fight? Or anybody else's fight?
But this matter isn't about whether the government paid is supposed to pay for it. Because at the end of the day, when you're trying to organize something as important, as big as this, with a lot of moving parts, international moving parts, you need the backing of the government, not financially, but diplomatically. The strength and pedigree that and the authority that the Ministry of Youth and Sports can bring to bear on such an issue is significant. Simply having money and going abroad and trying to organize with a bunch of people who are likely to take you for that money as well isn't enough. You have to get some kind of backing, a significant authority.
But this, like Seun said, I don't know if you heard that. This is not the first government Bashali is going up against. With Solomon Dalong, he did it. I've known Bashali for years fighting the government, saying you should pay. Don't you want a Nigerian to be the oldest boxer in the world? You know, he's not making it look like he's doing us a favor. Nigerians are obviously saying, without saying it out loud, guy, we don't want your
but do you believe that the allegation? Do you believe that it couldn't have happened?
I don't think that it would happen. The sports minister won't come so low to take money from someone. Come on.
I mean,
I think this is very serious. And
at the end of the day, I find him entertaining. And what I would say is, Big Brother should come give him his own reality show.
Yes, I think so. Now, in the French Le Championnat, Olympique Marseille and Paris Saint-Germain played out a goalless draw in the latest chapter of the Le Classique yesterday. Both sides had goals ruled out for offside in the first half, with Lionel Messi also seeing a header tipped over the bar. The visitors were reduced to 10 men shortly after the break when Achraf Hakimi brought down Genghis Under and denied the Turkish midfielder a goal-scoring opportunity. The result leaves Paris Saint-Germain with a 7-point lead at the top, while Marseille are up into 4th. This is the one everyone wants me to talk about, okay, and I will. Mo Salah hit a hat-trick as Liverpool humiliated Manchester United, romping to a stunning 5-0 victory at Old Trafford in the Premier League yesterday. Naby Keita got the visitors off to the ideal start in the 5th minute, and then a dreadful mix-up between Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire led to Diego Jota turning in a low cross from Trent Alexander-Arnold to make it 2-0 after 13 minutes. United were in disarray at the back and Salah made it 3-0, scoring for the 10th straight game in all competitions, converting a low ball from Keita and then added the 4th, and after being set up by Jota, it was the first time United had been 4-0 behind at the interval in the Premier League era, and they were loudly booed off the field. Now, the stats reveal that Man U have never been 4-0 down at halftime at Old Trafford since the Premier League era. These are the disappointing stats. Another stat is that no Liverpool player has scored a hat-trick at Old Trafford since 1936. This is the lowest for Manchester United.
Credit to Mo Salah, have scored in 10 straight games, and by virtue of that hat-trick, he became the all-time African highest goal scorer in the Premier League, surpassing the record of the Drogba. But let me come back to my Manchester United. It was a game I did not see, though I was at the cricket pitch. They kept feeding me with information of how United were conceding goals. I've told you that Man United has a brainless, clueless, idealist, and tactically bereft and ineffective coach in an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And the class of 92, hypocrites, all of them, that cannot say anything negative about their colleagues because he's keeping the boys together. He has the Man United DNA. I saw Alex Everton yesterday shaking his head in dismay, and I saw Kenny Dalglish laughing away. You can see the comprehensive performance, the dominant performance by Liverpool. And so if United still leave Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and the board of Manchester United, the Glazer family, still think that they have brains to leave Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, that is the one to take us to the next level, then what is Seun Ajidagba's business? I'm just a bloody fan. People who are investing their money, if they think it's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, that should still remain at the job. You saw what happened. Look at the captain, the brainless captain, the most expensive defender in the world. Aspire to inspire like Maguire, who should retire. Brainless captain, colliding with Luke Shaw, cannot organize his defense. One day, I wish you didn't ask me this Manchester United question.
I feel your pain.
Yes.
I really feel your
But
pain.
what we don't have is a manager.
I feel your pain. Now, people have said different things too, though. They've said the players' mindset, they don't have the Man U winning mentality of the past anymore. And you know, Solskjaer could just be a major part of the problem. It's unfortunate when a team does badly, everybody blames the coach.
I feel the only person on that pitch who had any sense of anger at the notion that they would be losing so badly to Liverpool, that still carries the Man U mentality and spirit, was Ronaldo.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Because we saw how, on something I have very rarely ever seen from Ronaldo, he lost his temper on the pitch. And Paul Pogba comes onto the pitch and 15 minutes later he's off.
You know, Paul Pogba was walking out after the red card in that game, and it was walking like he was a fine boy walking into a club. Yeah, it wasn't like, you know, there was no sense, there was no remorse, there was no sign of, oh, I have a red card, against Liverpool, we're down.
Man United are bottom of the running stats, which means that their players run the least amount of times. They pressure the opposition the least amount in the entire league. That is bad. For the last week or two, people have been talking, was Ronaldo the right purchase? He doesn't defend from the top as much. But in every team he has ever played in, Ronaldo has never been the type of forward who pressures as much. He will come back and defend occasionally, but the rest of the team are organized in a way to cover for it.
Let's come to this now. Man U have suddenly become a team that is like a shop, like a mall. They bring in very, very good players and put them on the bench. Donny van de Beek, Jadon Sancho, bench. You can't have talents like that and they warm the bench.
Let me tell you the shocking thing. The derby in England, it's not Manchester derby. It's Liverpool against Manchester United.
True.
I listened to this same hypocritical guy level saying in the program box that when the fixtures are out, the game they always go and look out for is Manchester United against Liverpool. They don't want to lose that game. We spoke about Paul Pogba. He came on and he got a red card. There is no discipline. There is no leadership. There is no evidence of coaching. And it's clear that this guy cannot take this team to the next level. It's as simple as that. Sack him and stop being sentimental. Even Jamie Carragher felt for United. Even when he had hatred for United, he said, sack this manager and get a better manager.
Now, Seun, you are a big Man U fan. I've been a Man U fan from when I was born. I was thinking, well, Man U fans were thinking that by this time, we should be hearing of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's sack. We haven't heard it yet. Might we hear it today?
Hear it now.
Might we hear it today?
You cannot hear it. He's keeping them in the top four. And they are still making money. They are still qualifying for the Champions League. While they don't get overly excited, that Man United are topping the group after 3 matches in the UEFA Champions League. It happened last season. 2 matches to go, United still found themselves in the Europa League. So it's not beyond only to do the nonsense that he does. This is no manager. It's a brainless, clueless, idealist, and tactically careless and ineffective manager.
Seun, I want to thank you very much for joining us this morning. Thank you very much.
Always a pleasure. I'll do this twice on Sunday and even on public holiday. God bless PlusTvAfrica.
No problem, bro. Now, it wasn't this bad with Lampard. Lampard brought in some fantastic players, Timo Werner, Hakimi, Ziyech, Ben Chilwell, but he couldn't use them. And then Tuchel came from somewhere and realized what each person's potential was. He put them on the field of play. Chelsea are defending Champions League champions. I mean, they are on top of the league right now.
I think Lampard was unfortunate in the sense that he bought a bunch of new, exciting players and expected that at the very least, his first choice striker, which was Werner, would step up and score. That at the very least, if Werner was scoring, it would paper over the cracks.
Yeah.
Because when you put together a team like that, you're papering together a bunch of individuals, and the team has to go through growing pains.
But it was at a point where he had Werner, but he was still benching Werner for that young lad, the Nigerian kid or something.
You mean Abraham?
Yeah.
Tammy Abraham. Well, I mean, Tammy Abraham had proven the previous season that he could score
Then why did
goals.
you buy Werner?
But then Tammy Abraham wasn't a Champions League winning striker. That was the difference. The reason a lot of people said Mount was just as good as Kai Havertz, but
True.
Kai Havertz was a Champions League footballer
The
at that
experience,
point
yeah.
already. The level of experience that you needed to take Chelsea to the next level of European football was missing, which was why they went out and bought Ziyech, or bought Kai Havertz, and bought Timo Werner. And if Timo Werner had lived up to the responsibility of scoring, which he still hasn't, even under Thomas Tuchel, what Thomas Tuchel did reminds me of, and a lot of that last season reminds me of exactly what happened under Di Matteo.
Yeah.
You had a striker who was pacey, who was strong, could score, but then comes to Chelsea and then his stats go down. And then everybody else has to fall back and put all of their efforts into keeping out the opposition. Defending better allows them to win. And then ultimately, they get to the finals and they score. It makes sense now that Tuchel has won the Champions League, that maybe Lampard being sacked was the right thing. At the same time, we would never know if Lampard would have figured out that puzzle. But with Solskjaer, we all know he won't figure out the puzzle.
He doesn't know what to do.
And the best thing that might happen to
Figure out what puzzle.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know there's a puzzle right now.
Right now, if he was a smart man, he would just accept that McTominay should be his defensive holding midfielder.
True.
Pogba, as creative as he is necessary in that midfield, because other than Bruno Fernandes, he's the most creative player in the midfield. Play him in the best position that you can and utilize McTominay in a deeper role so that he doesn't have to worry about going forward. That's the problem.
Well, too many things have been said about Manchester United and Liverpool. Some say in the Man U camp, when Ronaldo came, he became the star. And all of them in the team became like nobodies. And why should I stress myself and kill myself on the field of play for Man U when your star is here? You know, and you know, they say Man U bought the GOAT and then Liverpool used it for Salah. Sad. That's all we can take on the show today. Plus Sports and Plus TV Africa on a Monday. Thank you very much, Seun Ajidagba, for joining us on the phone. Of course, Mukael, well, I can only but eat my humble pie today and try and avoid people as much as possible.
Try.
Join us same time tomorrow, same station, Plus Sports and Plus TV Africa. My name is Wale Scott. Like I always advise you at the end of every show, if not for anything, at least for your heart, do some sports.